the Reds fall out of contention. We slam the door shut. The mindset is get through the season, push for 2025. And all of a sudden, this team starts to score runs.
What's up with that, huh?
It's bullshit.
Yeah, and they also just won a one-run game.
What is this?
How?
I'm confused. Why wasn't this happening earlier in the season?
Did it take them this long to warm up? Is it the fact that there isn't a lot of pressure on them? Who knows?
Is it a mindset created by the person who rallies the troops, per se?
Maybe. I do not know, but it is very peculiar.
I think it is, dude. Mm-hmm. The more and more I think about it, I hate to say it, man, but like, I don't think the mindset that is being generated in the clubhouse or the attitude that's going out there is one of a winning mindset.
Do you think it's a bit of a passive clubhouse, the fact that with David Bell seems to be, it seems like he doesn't, at least in his press conferences, doesn't seem to put the players in a position of accountability. It seems to be very much like, oh, well, he protects them a bit.
Yeah. And I get that's his job. He's supposed to do that. But at some point, you kind of want to have a little bit of putting some feet to fire. And it doesn't seem like that has ever happened.
I know I've said before, like, I like when David Bell plays it close to the vest, and I feel like he's probably a different person inside the clubhouse. But the more and more looking at him, it just seems to be like maybe he's just that, you know, this quaaluded dude where it just doesn't really, whatever. But then all of a sudden he will get, amped up about something, but it's just like for theatrics to get tossed. Yeah. It's like, okay, I didn't do enough. Okay, well, I'm going to get tossed for this. So it looks like at the end of the day, well, I did my part because I got angry and I got thrown out.
Yeah, look, I'm standing up for my guys.
Yeah, so I would like to see a bit more of like a Lou Piniella thing of where like, no, this is going to be a winning ball club. I don't give a damn who's in the lineup. So yeah, feet to the fire, more of accountability. That could be helpful.
Yeah. Especially like you said with the press where he's standing up for all this stuff. Like he's maybe called out one player in the 5 years he's been here. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was the spat with him and Rizal Iglesias where he wanted to use Rizal in high leverage situations instead of having him close. And Rizal said, I'm a closer. And guess who ended up winning that argument?
Rizal.
David Bell. And they shipped his ass out to Los Angeles.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, he's on the Braves right now and he's on a winning organization. So I would say like he's... And
having a killer year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he won in the long term, but I'm saying in Cincinnati, David Bell won that conversation.
Yeah.
And he won that in that mindset. And he's doing the same thing with Alexis Diaz. So that's our big problem there. But it's like, that was the one time that he went after somebody and said like, no, you do what I say you do. And this is what the analytics say. And then you watch him go and thrive other places in the situation where he wants to pitch and does it and is one of the premier closers in the game. So knock number one on Bell that we've always had. And number two, with the accountability and the mindset and the fact that whenever the pressure is on this team, they find a way to wilt. And that comes down to the attitude and everything that is built and developed within the clubhouse and the organization. It starts with Crawl and up there with the team that he fields, sure. But Bell is supposed to be the wizard or the chef, as you will, to put the ingredients in and get the dish humming. And he hasn't done that, especially when you look at 2021 when they were close. Yeah. They did the same thing and they faltered.
There's been a culture of complacency with just being somewhat competitive. Like there needs to be like a come to Jesus moment. We need to put a mirror up to our faces, not just with the players, but the organization, the coaches, Crawl, medical staff. What could we be doing to improve our situation here? Because it's very much a group effort, and they're failing all throughout. It seemingly with medical staff, how everyone seemingly is hurt. Pitching not living up to expectations. I mean, some doing very well, some faltering, and then offensively just going anemic. It just seems to be across the board. Failure was going on, and it just seems to be, again, the passive voice of like, well, sometimes this is just baseball.
Yeah, this is just the way it works. We got games left, we got time to catch up. It's just I understand that mentality, But also there needs to be a little bit of giddy up.
Yeah.
And even if and we wouldn't even be having this conversation if he did this with the press 5 times in his career. And calling somebody out. But instead, we're sitting here going, well, it just seems like they're very passive because that's the MO that he puts out. And we'll never truly know. You know, that's not ever going to come out. But the way that he's passive and all this stuff, like with the media, only makes you assume that is how he operates. And you've heard snippets of like people talk and say like, yeah, David's a very mild, cool demeanor guy, very, very monotone, all this stuff. And then when something, when he gets tossed, he's like, they're like, man, he can flip a switch. I'm like, that's the only thing we've heard about the guy. Yeah,
and I'm thinking now too about how we have like the on-field leaders, like with Luke Maley, Jonathan India, and just thinking back to like those conversations that you hear. Never does it seem like they talk about David Bell being a leader. So it just maybe there's a void of a veteran presence, one, but then the leadership presence, or the leadership presence is still very young and not knowing how to take the reins and lead them properly. So yeah, to me, it does seem like there is a bit of a cultivation of this losing mentality where it's fine. We're Cincinnati. We're we're a middle market team. We can't compete.
Everyone's hurt.
Okay.
Everyone's hurt.
What are we supposed to do? They're hurt.
Yeah. It's not like we're supposed to try. Or the problem, it's not even the try thing. I think it's that they put too much pressure on themselves internally. And there's something that there isn't someone to quell that. Because if you think about it, he was a manager in 2019. He's never been there. There hasn't been a voice in that clubhouse that's come in and been like, I've been there. Here's what we need to do.
Yeah, here's how we get there.
Yeah. And look at what a veteran manager like that changes in a clubhouse. The Texas Rangers.
I was just going to say, the Rangers.
The Rangers with Boch coming in and being like, well, been there, done that. Here's what we do, boys, and here's how this is going to go.
Yeah, get on my shoulders. I'll take you there.
I'll take you there. I just need you to do your job, and we'll go. Giddy up. That needs to happen again. That needs to be in the clubhouse. I don't know who it would be. I sure as fuck don't want to see Buck Showalter down there. But someone along the lines of a Dusty, like a more modern version of that, it's like Brian Snitker. He was a minor league manager for 30 years before he was the manager of the Braves. Oh my God, Joe Madden. He's available.
Yeah.
Get his ass down there. He won a World Series with the Cubs. Something along those lines to get these guys comfortable and get them rolling in 2025. I think that's the move. You don't change the whole organization structurally. I mean, you keep Derek Johnson. He's done his thing. His contract's coming. But as much wishful thinking as I'm saying with all of this, I don't think you're going to see a change because David Bell has 2 more years on his contract.
Yeah, and we haven't really done much David Bell bashing. I think we've done a lot of defending of him. However, just talking about, like you said, there needs to be a different leadership presence, or at least a different mentality in that clubhouse, and it could trickle down, from management.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what it needs to be, but it needs to be a lot of different things than what they did this previous year or this current year.
Yeah, because again, the games don't matter and they start to hit. There's something about whatever they did to relax or get going.
There needs to be that sense of urgency, responsibility, and hey, this is a kid's game. We're having fun here. And it just doesn't seem to be the right mix that they have there. No, I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't seem to be playing well.
Nah, it's like it's like having gumbo without the bay leaves in it. You're like, fuck, there's something off here.
Oh God!
It's just the one little thing that throws the whole thing together. You don't really think about it. And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot to put bay leaves in it.
Yeah, and you put that in there, and all of a sudden the roux starts getting better.
Ooh, it pops.